Let's talk about content optimization. The process of tweaking your copy and oftentimes writing your copy from ground up so that it can do well in the search engines. So it's always a good idea whenever you create content to work with it so that you're doing the best job you can to get ranked in the search engines later on. I believe that this is one of the most important things you can do anytime you create content. And so I wanted to show you a free tool that'll help you do that. Okay. All right. So the tool is called Spark Content Optimizer. It's free. It's a Google plugin. Let me show you how it works. All right. So let's go over here to, all right, here we go. So here I'm on an article about marketing funnels. It goes through and talks about what's a marketing funnel, how does it work, all those kinds of things like that. So let's just imagine that you were creating a piece of content. You wanted to write about how to create a marketing funnel. All right. So right up here, there's a plugin called Spark Content Optimizer. And what this does is it gives you a bunch of information over here about this particular article. And so it shows you that right now it is ranking for 123 keywords, and they're estimating that it's getting about 4,459 visits a month. And as you scroll down, you can see that it's ranking number 1 for the term, what is a funnel? And then what is funnel? Marketing funnel, it's ranking number 4 for it. Funnel 5, purchase funnels 5. And you can go through and you can see, in this case, 4 pages of this where it's ranking. So marketing to sales funnel is getting 7. And each one of these, it shows the volume of that particular search. And so purchase funnel is currently ranking 10. Notice that it gets 1,600 searches a month. And so I'm just going to go back here. So what is a funnel is ranking 1,900. They're number 1. And then we go down here to purchasing funnel. They're ranked number 8, and it's got 1,600. And so if he was to improve his ranking for purchasing funnel up to number 8, he could probably be almost doubling that traffic. So that's how the math works, is the higher you get in your rankings for terms that get a lot of searches, the more it turns into traffic for you. All right. So this shows for this page what terms it is currently ranking for. Then we can go down and we can see, okay, here's the title of the page. Here's the meta description, meta keywords, there's none there. Here's the canonical link, and then we can just sort of ignore some of these things unless you want to get really technical. Right now, it's got 5,147 external backlinks from 489 different domains. Down here, when you look at this, citation flow is basically it's sort of an index of how many links you've got. Trust says how trusted are those pages that are getting links. Almost always trust flow will be below citation flow, but you want these numbers to be as close to each other as possible, because that means the links you're getting are coming from high quality sites. Here's another piece that I think is valuable. So what this is saying is there's 1,108 words on the page. Let me just make sure that the count of keywords found based on the page's content, excuse me. So it's saying there's 1,108 keywords on the page. Marketing is found 49 times on the page. Funnel is found 44 times on the page. And so you can see these are the key keywords that are being used on this page. And you can see how oftentimes they are being used. Now, the last thing we want to do is go and start crunching a bunch of keywords into our content in unnatural ways. this article is probably naturally flowing that marketing got used 49 times in it. And so you don't want to do what's called keyword stuffing, where you're putting a lot of keywords in, a lot of usages of a certain keyword. You want everything to flow naturally, but this gives you a pretty good indication that, hey, here's this page that's getting 4,459 visitors a month. And it's being found, it's got the word marketing, funnels, analytics, Google, conversion. So these are key keywords that are in there. So if you were to be writing a piece of content about this, you would want to use similar keywords to those, and you can use those exact same keywords in your content. It's just basically saying, naturally, these are keywords that happen when you talk about this particular piece of content. And then we can get down and says, okay, Google probably thinks this page is about these following topics. Can you see how this would be valuable to you? How this data tells you more about what's going on with a particular article without having to go through and count words and things like that. So you can get an indication as to not only what's happening in the keywords they put in, but links and things like that. So this has been the process that I call understanding content. One of the two uses of this particular tool is to go through and understand content. So I recommend that before you create a piece of content, you spend some time and go and do a search where you review search engine results, so you better understand what it takes to rank for a piece of content, for a term in that particular keyword. And I'll show you that in just a moment. But before I go there, I'd like to invite you to consider this for just a moment. What if you put in your own pages into this? Think about that for a moment. You go and you put in your own URL and you get this kind of data for your own URLs. It starts telling you how well you're doing in a lot of different measures that are key for the search engines. All right, so I told you that this particular page was looking at the concept of understanding content. Now let me show you how you use this tool to review search engine results. So here I put in how to meditate without falling asleep. One of my main problems in life. Okay. And so not a main problem in life, but it is a problem in my life. And so here we go. So let me just show you how you would use this tool to do this. So I'm going to go to the first natural result, which is, why do I keep falling asleep during meditation? So I click on this, takes me to the Headspace site, and then I click on the tool. And I'm just going to blow that up a bit so you can see it better. And what this is showing is this particular page has 167 ranking keywords. It's getting about 427 visitors a month. And so the number one keyword in this particular topic of how to meditate without falling asleep is getting about 427 views per month. So that's the value of having a number one ranking for this particular term. So if I were to go back and let's just do this. Let's just put in how to meditate. Not the without falling asleep. And let's look at the number one there, how to meditate well guides, New York Times, and see how it's doing. So here we go. So for the term how to meditate, it's getting 56,811. So this starts telling you the value of certain keywords. The further you get down, so there's a difference between how to meditate and how to meditate without falling asleep. And how to meditate without falling asleep is worth about 10%? No, 1% of the traffic of how to meditate. So let me just make sure I've shown you this. So here's the how to meditate. It's getting this 56,811. If I come back up here and I go mindfulness, let's just do mindfulness and see what its first ranking is. So its first natural ranking it gets, here we go. So it's got 31,282. So again, here we learn the power of one search term over another. So if you remember, How to Meditate had 56,000 visitors a month. Mindfulness has 31,000. So around 60%. And so if your article is actually about meditation, not about mindfulness, you may not want to be focusing on mindfulness as you write it. It oftentimes helps to do a quick search like this to figure out what the keywords are that bring the most traffic around what it is that you're doing. Now, I also realize that it's more difficult. The bigger, it's probably harder to get to rank for how to meditate than it is for mindfulness. I understand that. But there's also this piece in this where the thing I don't want to do is I don't want to write an article that's focusing on a certain keyword that gets 20 searches per month. I'd prefer to be doing it for something that's getting 100 or 200 or 400 or 600 or something like that. All right, so now I'm going to go back to how to meditate without falling asleep. All right, so we're going to go back to this. And so I've got my headspace here. So it shows, here's this, and here are the keywords that it is currently ranking for: falling asleep in meditation, falling asleep during meditation. Why do I keep falling asleep when I sit down? Oh man, that's a tough topic. Okay, make me sleepy, how not to fall asleep. Okay, then you can come down and you can see, okay, it's getting fewer backlinks. So it's only got 57 backlinks from 7. Remember, back in the Neil Patel article, we were seeing, I think it was 400 something referring domains in there. And then you can come down and you can see, here's your keywords that it's ranking for. But the point I want to make here is, so here's the first one. Now let's look at the second one down. So the second one down, it's got 367. So remember the first one was getting, let's just go back and remember that. So the first ranked one, they're estimating 427. The second ranked one, they're estimating 367, so about 60 less. And notice falling asleep in meditation. The first one was ranking number 1 for falling asleep in meditation. This one's ranking number 2 for that. And so now, this helps you just to understand the difference in rankings, whether you have that first place ranking versus the second place ranking. Notice, let's just go down and look at its rank. So it's only got 2 domains that are referring to it, only 9 external backlinks. That tells me you could probably rank for this. If it's only got 2 domains that are linking to it and only 9 total backlinks, you can do that. And so here's its keywords that it looks at. Now let's go back and now let's look at number 3. It's a medium.com article, which is interesting because Medium, anyone can write an article on Medium and get it out there. You don't have to have a big fancy domain and everything. You can just go ahead and put it out there and see and put it up on Medium. And so falling asleep during meditation. So let's just see, it's got 247. So yeah, it's not 427, but hey, it's just about half that. It's the 3rd ranked one. And, ooh, look at that. Okay. I'll talk about this H1 thing in just a second. Okay. It's got 3 referring domains, 4 external backlinks, and it's got no trust flow. So, hey, if you're in the meditation space, this would be a great term to go after. How to meditate without falling asleep. Because what it's saying is the 3rd rank down has basically no trust flow. It's only got 3 domains referring to it. So this would be a pretty easy one to go after. And here's the counts for these different terms. Now, let me just point something out. Ideally, you're putting 1 H1 tag on your entire page. This person has put, what is this, 9, 10? So when you come down, see all these, so be consistent, adapt your space or move it. They should have done this as they set this up as H2 tags. I'm getting technical on you here for just a minute, but you really only want to have one, maybe two H1 tags on your entire page. This person has actually hurt their ranking. If they just change these to H2 tags, they may even move up into that second place ranking over the one that's above them. So don't go and make everything H1s as you do things. So can you see what I'm doing here? I'm basically just going through the top terms for the keyword that you want to write about. And I'm seeing, hey, what's going on with them? How are they doing? How are they doing it? And what are they doing to get this? So this one's got some errors in it, and so it's not, I'm not seeing, and it may be that we've got a problem with the plugin at the moment. All right. So two key things. First one is understand content. So go to the core pages that maybe you want to use as a model. Maybe it's the first in your category that you want to knock off. Look at your own, see how it's doing in terms of the content. And then I also suggest you go through and you look at the individual pages that are doing well on the first page of Google for the term that you want to rank for, and start looking at what's going on with each one of those articles, so that you can write your article in a way that will be competitive with them so that you can also rank. So let me tell you how you get this particular plugin. So this particular plugin is called Spark Content Optimizer. So Spark Content Optimizer. If you just go to Google and you do a search for Spark Content Optimizer, skip down the ads, and right here we have a Google Chrome link. And so you'll need to be using Google Chrome to use this, but if you click this, it'll take you to a page which allows you, since I've added it, it would have, if you hadn't added it, it would have a thing here where you would add this to Chrome, and then it would enable you to put it in your little bar up here at the top. And usually what ends up happening is when it puts it into that bar, you have to click the little puzzle piece and then go down and click this. So if it's not there, see how it went away up here? So you click it so it becomes visible. It's pinned to your bar so you can see what's going on. And the first time you do this, you'll need to refresh your page to be able to see the data on whatever it is. So Spark Content Optimizer. It's a great free tool, and I recommend that you look at it in order to help you improve your search engine rankings and understand better about how you can make your content better so that people will actually want to read it, which really helps if you want to get traffic, if you want to build your positioning in the marketplace. You want people to want to read your content. And this gives you a pretty good indication of what people want to read. Hope this is helpful. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your experience with this, and let me know what you're doing to make sure your content does well and your content is optimized. This is Don Crowther saying, just go do this stuff. Like what you just saw and want more? Subscribe now, ring the bell for notifications, and watch these other videos.